Okay, final assessment over quadratic equation. You get some little goodies here with the graph, the equation solving, and then you will need this for if you have any of these problems where you isolate x squared and square root. Okay, first off, got your second power. It's a quadratic equation which makes a parabola. What form is that in? Remember, you have standard if there are no parentheses. Vertex if there's one with a second power outside, and then factored if you get two parentheses with x inside of each. Okay, no parentheses, so it's in standard form. Remember, when you're graphing parabolas, the most important thing to find is the middle of it. Okay, the middle vertex, that'd be the x in the middle. That's found using the formula, the opposite of the b divided by 2, the product of 2 and a. Okay, so a would be 2 and b would be negative 8. So the opposite of negative 8 is 8. And the product of 2 and 2 is 4. So 8 divided by 4 equals 2. And that's your middle x vertex. So plus 1, minus 1, and then you plug those in, substitute on your calculator to find y. So you got 2 times 3 to the second minus 8 times 3 plus 1, negative 5. 2 in, so 2 and then 2 to the second minus 8, 2 plus 1, negative 7. I'm hoping this takes me back to negative 5, so 2 and then 1 to the second minus 8 times 1 plus 1. Indeed. Okay, so 3 negative 5, so I go to 3 on x. This graph's crappy, just guesstimate. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 2 negative 7, so 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then 1 negative 5, so 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, next one. Second power's there, so it is a parabola. But it would not be in standard form, it would be in vertex form. So again, all parabolas have tables. To find the middle vertex, you set the inside parentheses equal to 0 and solve. So the inside parentheses is x plus 2. Set that equal to 0. Again, the reason you set it equal to 0 because you need to think of the vertex as like a low point. Well, the lowest any factor to the second power, the lowest the product can be is 0. So x would need to be a negative 2. Then we add 1 and subtract 1. Okay, substitute on the calculator, find y. So I have negative 4, and then negative 1 plus 2, second, minus 5, negative 9. For those of you who are more of advanced thought, you actually know what this is going to be right away. You actually know that it's negative 2 right away because it's the opposite of that, and it's going to be this value here. That's why it's called vertex form, because I can see the middle vertex just by looking at it. Opposite for x and then y right here. So negative 4 and then negative 2 plus 2, second power, minus 5 is negative 5, just like I said. And then negative 4 and then negative 3 plus 2, second power, minus 5 is negative 9. Okay, so negative 1, negative 9, go left 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right there. Negative 2, negative 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then negative 3, negative 9, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, and then this is a parabola. Even though there's no second power, we have multiple factors of x here. No. And so that is going to be in factored form. Okay, find your outer x values first by setting the inside parentheses equal to 0 and solving. Okay, you're actually going to find your outer x coordinates first. So the x minus 4 factor, find where that equals 0, and x plus 5, set that equal to 0. So plus 4. So I get 4, and that's your first. Then negative 5, that would be your second. Okay, the middle vertex, add the outer values together and divide the sum by 2. So 4 plus negative 5 equals negative 1, and then divide by 2. That's going to be a decimal, negative 0.5. Okay, to find y, substitute on the calculator. The outer y's will equal 0 because they are x-intercepts. So 2... 4 minus 4, which you know is 0, and then 4 plus 5. If one of those factors is 0, the whole product's 0. 2, negative 0.5, minus 4, negative 0.5 plus 5, negative 40.5. 2, and then negative 5 minus 4. Negative 5 plus 5, I got 0. So 4, 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 0.5, negative 40.5. So left, and then 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. And negative 5, 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, now you're solving equations. Now remember, there's 3 kind of quadratic ways to solve quadratic equations. If you have x squared only, you're going to isolate x squared. You're going to square root. And on those problems, I don't want just decimals if it's not a perfect square, okay? You need to use this. Excuse me. Okay, if you have x in a parentheses the second, you replace the parenthesized expression with q. Isolate q squared, square root, and then go to the chart and bring in the original expression. Now, if you have x squared and x, you're going to have to use factoring. 0. Count the terms, and there's either going to be 2 or 3. There won't be any 4 on this because 4 terms are x to the thirds, and they're not quadratic. All these are x to the second. Okay, 2 answers. See what we got. X second, and we also have regular x, so we're going to have to factor. So we make sure we have the 0. Count the terms and draw the boxes. There's 2 terms, so it'd be GCF. And then see if we have a difference of perfect squares. GCF, do you have a negative in front? Nope. You got x on both? Yup. Under GCF calculator, 5 and 25, the GCF's 5, so we're going to factor out 5x. So divide by 5x, it's 1x plus 5, and that has a plus, so that's not a dots. Get rid of it, okay? So you can parenthesize that guy, that's F1, and that's F2. So 5x equals 0, 1x plus 5 equals 0. Divide by 5, divide by 5, so I get 0. Minus 5, I get negative 5. Okay, next problem. There's two answers. So you obviously have x to the second, and it's x to the second only. So we want to isolate the x to the second using inverse operations. So subtract 2 from both sides. 3x to the second power equals 54. Divide both sides by 3. X to the second would equal 18. And then how do you undo a second? What's the opposite of a second power? Square root. These undo each other. It gives me x. A square root could be positive, negative. Now, 18 on that list? Nope. It falls between here. So you need to make 2 square roots and see what 18 might divide by, because it says no decimals. Okay, 9 and 2. So we're going to replace 9 with its equal, which is 3. Okay, so that's 3 with a square root of 2. Okay, so that's your answer. And then the other answer is just the same thing with the negative in front of it. Shut up. Okay. Next one. X squared minus 3x minus 54 equals 0. Okay, there's two answers. You got x squared and x. Okay, so obviously you're going to have to make your factoring boxes. The 0, 0, 0. How many terms it have? It has 3. So GCF and T. So GCF, negative in front, nope. X on everything, nope. 1, 3, and 54, the GCF's 1. So forget that. Okay, ABC. So I take A times C, that's going to be 1 times negative 54. That gives me a negative product of 54, and that's a difference of 3. 1 and 54, no. 54 divided by 2 is 27, nope. 3 and 18, nope. 4 is a decimal, 5 is a decimal. 54 divided by 6 is 9, so 6, 9, and 9 minus 6 is 3. Now it has to come out to minus 3, so 9's minus, and it's a difference, so 6 is plus. Okay, so A equals, A is 1x to the second, so I know I just need 2 parentheses. Don't need to lead off with 1, but I need to break off the x second into x and x, and then plus 6 minus 9. So that's F1, and that's F2. So x plus 6 can equal 0, or x minus 9 can equal 0. So minus 6, I get negative 6, plus 9, I get 9. Okay, number 10, x to the second plus 10x minus 10. There's two answers. And we have x to the second along with x again. So the zero's there. It's 3 terms, so we need to factor. So GCF and T. Okay. So GCF, you got a negative in front? Nope. You got x on everything? Nope. 1, 10, and 10. The GCF's 1. A, B, C. So A times C. 1 times negative 10 is negative 10. So difference of 10. 1 and 10 is a difference of 9. So we know right away that's too low to work. So there's no sense going anymore. So we use our quadratic formula. Opposite of B, opposite of B. That's going to be negative 10 plus or minus the square root b squared minus these three things. And we put a 4 here. Now the b is 10, and the a is 1, and the c is negative 10. So on the bottom you got 2 and 1. Alright, so I got my plus minus negative 10 in front. 2 times 1 is 2. Find that square root. Okay, 11.8, and we can go from there. So negative 10 plus 11.8 equals, divided by 2, 0.9. Negative 10 minus 11.8 equals, divided by 2, negative 10.9. And got your two answers. Alright, the next problem. 6x to the second power minus 5x minus 6 equals 0. So two answers. And we have x second and we have x, so another factoring problem. So the zero's there. There's three terms. So GCF and T. So GCF, negative in front, nope. Got x on everything, nope. 6, 5, and 6, GCF's 1. Okay, so I take A times C, so 6 times negative 6 is negative 36, difference of 5. 1 and 36, nope. 36 divided by 2 is 18, nope. 36 divided by 3 is 12. Nope. 36 divided by 4 is 9. Yep, that's 5. Okay, so that 5 has a minus in front of it, so they have to come to minus 5. 9's minus. Difference mean they're the opposite, because that makes negative 5. Okay, A equals 6x to the second power. Well, that means you're going to need 4 of these. Because that could be 1x, 6x, 6x, 1x, 2x, 3x, 3x, 2x. So we want to lead off with 6. Break the x squared in half, so it would be x and x, and then plus 4 minus 9. Okay, GCF here is 2. So it would be 3x plus 2. GCF here is 3. So it would be 2x minus 3. And these factors are now no good. These are the real factors, f1, f2. And again, 3x times 2x is 6x squared. And also 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. And if you did the rest of it, the x's would combine to negative 5x. Okay, so I know 3x plus 2 could equal 0, or 2x minus 3 could equal 0. So I'm going to take 2 away. So 3 times x equals negative 2. Divide by 3. You can leave that negative 2/3. You can also put it negative 0.6 repeating. Plus 3 plus 3. 2x equals 3. Divide by 2. You can leave that 3 over 2 or 1.5. Either one's good. Okay, in this one, I have a parentheses with a second power. That's like a special problem. So I'm going to replace the parentheses expression with Q and 3. You can't use your distributive property rainbows because of the second power. And after that has been rewritten, we want to make this table because we will be bringing back the x minus 3 because that's what Q is really equal to. Okay, so I don't need to add or subtract. I'll need to divide by 3. And Q to the second equals 36. Undo the second power with a square root. So square root of 36 is 6, so that could be positive or negative. So 6, negative 6. So I plus 3, 9's the first solution. Plus 3, negative 3 would be the second. Okay, now, when I have different subheadings like that, we want scratch paper so I can make sure I have plenty of room to work. An object is launched from a height of 15 feet. It travels through the air at an initial velocity of 120 feet per second. Calculate the object's maximum height. Okay, so maximum height. It's just like that, just a huge parabola with the middle vertex point marked. You need to find both these. Opposite of b divided by 2 times a finds the x, and to find y, we replace x in the equation with a calculator. Okay, this is gravity, so it's very easy to write these equations. Negative 16x squared. And the velocity has to come next, 120 feet per second. So plus 120x plus the starting height, which was 15 feet, equals y. You can also put y equals in front. So it's pretty obvious what the a and the b are here. Ax squared, bx. So the opposite of b is negative 120. Then I have 2. And then a is negative 16. So that makes negative 32. And I divide negative 120 by negative 32, and I get 3.75. Now that's not your maximum height. That's the seconds it took to get to the max height. Y is a max height. And now that you know x is 3.75, you can plug that in, and that's going to equal y. So negative 16, parentheses 3.75 to the second, plus 120, parentheses 3.75, plus 15. I got 240. So 240 feet is the maximum height. Okay, part B. Find where the object is at after 5 seconds. Well, let's flip this over. And part B. So I'm not finding the max height, so I need to conduct some further analysis to what I'm really finding. So feet and seconds are your units. X is seconds, Y is feet, so per. Feet per second. Okay, feet per second, I've got 120. And it's a parabola because it's going to come back down. So I know it's gravity, negative 16x squared plus 120x plus 15 equals y. 120x, 15. All right, now the input value is 5 seconds, okay? So 5 seconds. And it's seconds, so that's going to go in for x. So that's good news. I like when things go in for x. Negative 16, parentheses 5 to the second, plus 120, parentheses 5, plus 15 equals y. Because to find y, you can just plug it in on the calculator. So negative 16 times 5 to the second, plus 120, parentheses 5, plus 15. And I got 215. And I can go ahead and put 215 feet. Okay, part C. Find the time it takes the object to land 20 feet above the ground. So again, let's make on the new piece of scratch paper, let's do some analysis. So I've got feet and I've got seconds. X would be seconds, Y would be feet. And the feet per second is again 120. This is a parabola. It is a gravity parabola, so negative 16x to the second power plus 120x plus the initial height of the object of 15 equals y. Okay, 20 feet is the replacement value. And that is going in for y. Right there. And that's not as slick as when it goes in for x, unfortunately. Okay, because there are two answers for x, and not only that, we have x to the second, and we have x to the first, so we need to clear this side of the equation, so the 0 is there, so I take 20 away. And I have negative 16x to the second power plus 120x minus 5 equals 0. Okay, and then we need to find the GCF and T. GCF, negative in front. Yep. X on everything. Nope. 16, 120, and 5. It's going to be 1 GCF. But it's negative 1, so I'm going to actually go through with it. Okay, so it's positive 16x to the second. 120 divided by negative 1 is negative 120x. Negative 5 divided by negative 1 is positive 5. Okay, ABC. 16 times 5 is 80 positive. So it's actually a sum of 120, but 1 and 80 is already too low to be 120, so that is a fail. And I use my quadratic formula. Okay, what's the opposite of the B? 120. Square root, parentheses to the second, minus 3 parentheses in a row. And we put 4 here. Okay, so B is negative 120. A is 16. C is 5. I've got 2 and A is 16. Okay, so plus minus, I've got 120. Product of 2 and 16 is 32. And find the square root. Okay, so second square root, double it. Negative 120, second power, minus a 4 in parentheses, a 16 in parentheses, and a 5. Okay, I got 118.6. I'm just going to say it's a 119. So I take 120 plus 119 equals, divide by 32, 7.47. And 120 minus 119 divided by 32, 0.03. Okay, they're both positive, so we're going to put both of them. 7.47 and 0.03 seconds. All right, and then the last problem. You can use your Math Papa calculator for this. I'm going to go ahead and get it. First, let me set it up. An electronics store sells 70 of a new model of camera at a price of $320 each. For each $20 decrease in price, 5 more cameras per month are sold. What's the maximum revenue the store can raise? Okay, so you're finding a maximum big parabola, not the don't make any boxes. Okay, so opposite of B divided by 2 times A finds the X, and for Y we replace X in the equation. All right, so this isn't gravity though, this is revenue. So revenue is equal to the money we charge times the number of items we sell. And each one of those get parentheses. So revenue is replaced with Y. And I make 2 parentheses. Now find your money amounts. You got 320 and you got 20. Okay. Those have to go together. Those are like terms. So you start selling the cameras at 320. And it says $20 decrease. So because it says decrease, that would be minus 20. But you're going down 20, down 20, down 20 repeatedly. So we put X. And then for the cameras, I have 70 and 5. So 70. And what's it say? What adjectives with the 5? 5 more. So plus 5x. Okay, that's the equation, but it's not going to work yet because I don't have an a and a b because there's no x squared. So I need to FOIL this and find the product. So blank x squared plus blank x plus blank. And I could make you do that off the side, but I'm going to go get my pop calculator. Just hold tight. Okay, so we go to Google, Math Papa, Algebra Calculator. Okay, so right there. All right, so we entered in, so parentheses, 320. Minus 20x, where's the minus there? Right there, no. Shoot, I don't know where the minus is at. Let's go back here. There we go, minus 20x. Close it. You just need another parentheses and you're going to put in 70 plus 5x. Calculate it, and it's going to be negative 100x squared, so negative 100. And that's your A coefficient. B is 200, that's your B coefficient. And C is 22,400. Okay, so the opposite of B is going to be negative 200, and then 2 times A. Okay, so it's going to be negative 200, and then divide that, and that's 1. So there's only one price change, okay? You just take it from 320 down 20 to 300. And how much money am I going to be making then? $22,500.